Your secrets are physically draining your life force, like a metabolic parasite. Right now, your prefrontal cortex is trapped in a state of hyper-vigilance, burning through cognitive reserves just to keep the truth hidden. This internal surveillance doesn't just exhaust you. It fundamentally rewires your brain and alters your physical reality. Secrets function as metabolic parasites, forcing the prefrontal cortex into a state of perpetual hypervigilance that drains cognitive reserves. Today, we examine how this internal surveillance warps sensory perception, physically weighting the body and distorting social landscapes. By concealing truth, we fundamentally rewire our neural architecture, trading objective reality for a fractured, exhausting illusion. Your prefrontal cortex, the evolutionary marvel responsible for your highest order thinking, is naturally designed for honesty. Honesty is the path of least resistance for the human brain. It is our baseline state. Because of this, deception, or even the conscious withholding of the truth, is a high-energy metabolic deviation. It requires effort, calculation, and a constant diversion of resources. Keeping a secret forces the brain into a state of perpetual hypervigilance. You are no longer simply existing in the world. You are actively managing a narrative. The brain begins treating everyday social interactions, not as opportunities for connection, but as potential threats to the hidden truth. This internal surveillance acts as a cognitive parasite. It silently siphons bandwidth away from your memory, your focus, and your emotional regulation. If you find yourself forgetting simple things, struggling to concentrate on your work, or snapping at the people you love over minor inconveniences, you might not just be tired. You might be paying the invisible tax on your brain. Your neural network is working overtime, running a background program that scans every word you speak and every facial expression you make, ensuring the secret remains buried. This leaves very little energy for the actual experience of living. But the toll of secrecy does not end in the mind. It cascades down into the body, altering your physical experience of the world. New neuroimaging and psychological research show that the brain processes a secret as a literal physical burden. Your central nervous system reacts to a heavy secret in the exact same way it reacts to carrying a heavy backpack. Research indicates that people holding significant secrets actually perceive the physical world differently. When asked to estimate the incline of a hill, those burdened by secrets perceive the hills as steeper. They perceive physical distances as longer and more arduous than those who are living openly. This distorted sensory perception changes how you move through the world. The weight is not a metaphor. It translates into chronic fatigue, unexplained physical tension, and a pervasive sense of heaviness. Your shoulders ache, your posture slumps, and your steps require more effort, all because your brain is telling your body that you are carrying an invisible, crushing load. As this weight bears down on you, the very fabric of your reality begins to tear. To maintain a secret, the brain must build and maintain a secondary, artificial timeline of events and facts. You have the reality of what actually happened, and the fabricated reality of what you allow others to see. This dual processing creates a constant, grinding conflict between your lived experience and your projected persona. You are constantly cross-referencing these two timelines, making sure they never intersect. Over time, this blurs the line of what is real. Your neural architecture, adapting to the demands you place upon it, begins to prioritize the shield over the truth. The mechanism of defense becomes stronger and more ingrained than your core identity. This leads to a profound loss of self-congruence and authenticity. You start to lose track of where the lie ends and where your true self begins. You become a ghost haunting your own life, trapped in a fractured illusion of your own making, unable to fully inhabit the present moment because you are too busy guarding the past. This internal fracturing inevitably spills over into your external environment, creating a landscape of social paranoia and neural isolation. Because the brain is locked in a defensive posture, the amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, remains overactive. You are primed for danger, which causes you to misinterpret neutral social cues as suspicious or judgmental. A lingering glance from a friend, an ambiguous text message, a sudden change in tone, everything is filtered through the lens of your secret. You wonder, do they know? Are they testing me? You begin to view others not as companions in life, but as detectives actively trying to unearth your truth. To protect the secret, you initiate a subconscious withdrawal from deep human connection. You keep conversations superficial. You avoid eye contact. You decline invitations. This self-imposed isolation has severe biological consequences. It alters your levels of oxytocin, the neurochemical responsible for bonding and trust. As your oxytocin drops, your cortisol, the stress hormone, spikes. This chemical imbalance further weakens your ability to feel safe, secure, and grounded in your environment. You are surrounded by people, yet fundamentally alone, guarded by a fortress that is slowly starving you of the connection you need to survive. However, you are not condemned to live in this state of hyperarousal. You have the power to reclaim your cognitive sovereignty. Modern therapeutic breakthroughs have highlighted a profound biological phenomenon known as the confession effect. Studies show that the simple act of vocalizing the secret immediately lowers cortisol levels and stabilizes the heart rate. By taking the truth out of the echo chamber of your mind and bringing it into the physical world, you strip the secret of its power. You do not need to broadcast your deepest vulnerabilities to the entire world to experience this relief. Shifting from total concealment to selective disclosure can be enough to rewire the brain and stop the threat response. Sharing the burden with a single trusted confidant, a therapist, or even writing it down in a private journal initiates the process of healing. It signals to your prefrontal cortex that the threat is no longer imminent. The background program can finally be closed. By offloading the metabolic cost of secrecy, you stop the drain on your life force. You restore your neural reserves. The heavy backpack is lifted, and you regain the ability to perceive reality with clarity and ease. The hills become manageable again. The distances shorten. You step out of the fractured illusion and back into the truth of who you are, reclaiming not just your energy, but your authentic self.